Cool. So, I mean, another thing that, probably a lot of people know about you, but a lot of people don't is your alter alias, Steve Stubblejumpski. And I think we're curious to hear about the beginnings of Steve and how that got started and where that all came from.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to entertain hundreds and hundreds of rural audiences as my alter ego, Steve Stubblejumpski. Steve was, we had a fertilizer dealership, Randy Sowski and I did, in Two Hills, Alberta. And we decided that on opening day, well, the day before, we were trying to figure out how to open up our dealership at the Pancake Breakfast. Can't make up this stuff. So we were drinking, and Steve's mom was a half case of Coors, and his dad was a bottle of CC. And we had this floppy hat that I put on, and I'm Ukrainian, so I was able to use the Ukrainian accent that Steve Stubblejumpski has, like that. And for the opening of Agritech Farm Supply, anyway, you're Mayor Shabuinka. You can't make up that name. Mayor Shabuinka at Two Hills, which is where Double Bumps is, was cutting the ribbon with Randy and Harvey on the stage, and I burst in as Steve Stubblejumpski and wrecked our own grand opening. And farmers laughed like hell, and that began a career in rural comedy. So I've entertained, like I said, hundreds of crowds, and I don't do it very often anymore. I think I do it rarely, but I do have a big gig coming up next year in Saskatchewan, Terry.
Oh, really? Where's that?
Big gig. I was the first, Steve Stubblejumpski was the first entertainer at the Lemberg Agri Dinner. It's now 25 years old, and they've asked Steve to come back for a third time. Steve Stubblejumpski, three times at the Lemberg Agri Dinner. So I think I might do that.
It's funny. I was talking to Holden and I said, you should ask Rob about Steve Stubblejumpski. And he's like, who's that? Who's, how, and he was struggling with how to pronounce it. But anyways, why don't you share with us one of your favorite Steve Stubblejumpski jokes or short routines there?
Okay, really tough. You should have told me this, Terry.
Holden hasn't experienced any of this yet, so he needs to see some of this flavor for you. Always do it off the cuff.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. So Steve would say that if a man is alone in the forest and he says something, and there's no woman there to hear him, is he still wrong?